Yo, hey guys, welcome back to this channel. My name is Ronnie. Hope you have a wonderful day. If you guys new to this channel, I talk about a lot of things when it comes to personal finance, my personal finance. This is my little, experiment here and there when it comes to my own money. And if you would like to see it grow, by all means, subscribe, comment, and share. It would be muchly appreciated. It has been raining in the past few days, so I've been indoors the past 4 days or so, which is a lot of fun. It gets me to catch up on lots of admin because, well, you got no other choice when you're actually indoor. Anyway, that's not what I'm trying to say in this video. What I'm talking about today is actually when it comes to property. There's a few things. Let's say we're going to talk about equity, using equity as a leverage. I'm sure you've seen a lot of advertising when it comes to property investing. One of them would be, hey, if you have X amount of dollars, you can buy a property, get the equity out, buy another property, get the equity out, and buy another one, and repeat, get an equity out and buy another property. Did I say get an equity out and get another property? I mean get an equity out and get another property. So that is someone's, method in terms of building wealth. Now, I tried to do that on one of our property. Did it work out? In my own personal opinion, no, it does not work out. Taking an equity out is equivalent to, leveraging extra debt what you have in your property. So for those of you who are new on property investing, so if you don't know what an equity is, the simple format is the following. Let's say you buy the property at $200,000. You do two things in order for you to get equity. You do instant equity, which is renovation, or over time when you appreciate and value that particular property, appreciate and value. That's so renovation, let's say, it takes you about 3 months, 4 months to renovate the property. You buy it at $200,000, you do maybe $10,000 renovation, go back to the bank, get it revalued. Hopefully because of you did a great renovation, it goes up in value. You can, now the value of that property becomes $250,000. Then you take out that extra bit, the $250,000. Well, no, whatever your lender willing to lend you, because you have an instant equity, you take it out. You do the same thing, repeat the process again. Buy another property, renovate it, get the instant equity, buy another property, acquire another one, acquire another one. So that's one option. Another option will be through time. So there are properties out there whereas over time it will go, as the time goes on, the value of the property around the area goes up. So that's the other one, where you rely on time to have the equity. Let's say you buy again $200,000 property, and then you waited for, let's say, 5 years, and then in that 5 years it appreciates in value and becomes $250,000. Then you take out the equity out. So now equity varies depending on bank to bank, what your lenders, your borrowing capacity in a sense, or what would they, how much percentage would they willing to lend you based on the value of the property. You do that. So the only downside about that is you gotta wait until time goes, in essence, like you gotta wait for a long time. So does building wealth using equity work? It might work for some, but it didn't work for me. Would I recommend it? I probably won't recommend it using equity, because you're literally creating more debt. So give you an example again, right? So on the instant equity, for example, which I personally did, the instant equity. So I bought a property roughly at about $300,000, $350, somewhere around there. Let's work on a round number. Let's say $300,000. Now I did a $20,000 renovation. Taking care of the kitchen, taking care of the bathroom. Those are the two main common area, let's say, that's heavily used, and it was an ugly duckling in a sense. I renovated it. Once I renovated, before renovation, the rental income, it was producing roughly about $300 per week. Like, great, bought it at $300,000 at $300 of rental income. Now, mind you, we didn't do anything else aside from renovation. Once the renovation is done, we put it back in the market for rental. Now, expecting, because this is a new, as in, I guess, all the new bells and whistles, new kitchen and new bathroom, we're expecting to get higher, maybe $400 per week, because I did the renovation. Reality check. Rentals the market didn't really change that much. In fact, went from $300 to about $310. That's it. Where I myself sunk in about $20,000 of renovation. Like, for some people it might work, for some people like myself it didn't work. So that's the bad side of renovation, because you're hoping that it's actually going to go up, but what if there's no tenant applying for that price? And that's what I did. I purchased them expecting a higher rental, got an appraisal for a few local real estate agents, and they're all saying, yeah, it's about $310, maybe $320. We put it in the market for a long time while it's actually being empty. Every week when it's empty, I have to pay the mortgage. So I had no choice to reduce the price to about $310. There was an applicant that applied for $310 because, well, it's better than not paying. It's better paying, getting some renter instead of being empty. Unless, on the other hand, that you are really, really cash heavy, as in you've got a lot of cash to play with. I didn't. As a first-time investor, you are strapped at a certain dollar figure. That is how much you have. So, yeah, and it didn't work out. It didn't work out in the sense of, works out to be, it's enough. I think it was the repayment. I think roughly about $350 per week, my repayment to the bank. It was somewhere in that vicinity, where my repayment, the income that is generating, which is the rental income, after minus all costs, let's say the real estate agent, just after agent fee alone, it's just enough to cover the mortgage repayment. Now, that wasn't fun, because owning a property, you still have to require to pay the expenses on the property. Example, water, council, if it's on a like a unit, will be a strata, agent fees. There's two types of insurance. There's a landlord insurance as well as building and content, or building insurance and lease. So those still require to be taken out from you as a property owner. So did it work using doing the renovation short term and then rent it out? No, not really. The way that I made it work is we hold that property, I think, for about 2 years or so. At that time, that's when I just had enough of paying, I guess, the repayment. And at that time also, we were only paying, I think it was like on interest only. Now, interest only is a bad start when it comes to property investing, because there is an expiry date when it comes to interest only repayment. So it has been, I think it's like over 5 years, let's say 5 years interest only. Now, if we didn't act upon it at the end of the 5 years, my repayments, it would be a lot higher. I think it was like from $300 to $500, somewhere around there. But we didn't want that to happen. So we ended up doing something, let's say, out of the ordinary. We actually sell it a certain way, doing my system, using, I guess, vendor finance. If you understand what that terminology is, great. If you don't, then you might want to search for it. I'll go and dive into it a lot more. So using a certain way, using I guess doing these different techniques of selling, I ended up having a positively geared property. So we did that for one, and we did another and another and another, and now all of our property is positively geared, which is creating passive income as a whole, instead of negatively geared, where it's actually costing me money every week. So yeah, that's my experience on, I guess, leveraging using instant equity. Did it work for me? No. Because at the end of the day, if next door, a 3-bedroom next door, renting for $300, just because you've got a 3-bedroom and it's brand new, like newly renovated, it's still going to be at the $300 mark. Maybe if you're lucky, about $310, $320 because it's brand new. That's about it. So it's really worth it doing the renovation. Maybe if it's, I guess, your own principal place of home, then yes, because you're going to be there for a long time. As a tenant, no, not really, because they're just going to be renting, as a whole, about $300 per week, and you're only putting down 4 weeks rent with an extra 2 weeks bond, which is as a total of about, 6 weeks in total. Let's say they only have to have a buffer of, let's say, 10 weeks. 10 weeks at $300. They're only in the skin for about $3,000 at $300. So, whereas myself anyway, I renovated the property, I'm in it for the game for roughly about $20,000. So would they take care of the property? And would they be a lot more emotionally invested to you on your property? Not really, because they're only in it for $3,000. So worst case scenario, you probably, it wasn't clean. That's the other thing. After a number of years, this particular tenant, they were paying, and they decided to move out. After 2 years, that is. 2 or 3 years, somewhere around there. And they damaged the property. Now, for them, it's not a big deal because they're only in it for $3,000. Worst case scenario, you're going to take the 2 weeks bond anyway, which is the 2 weeks bond, it's only $600. Whereas the repair bill costs equivalent, I think it's roughly about $10,000 or so, just on repair. So yeah, that's my experience on holding a investment property, doing a quick renovation to get an instant equity. When we went to the bank and reevaluate the property after the renovation, it didn't go as high as I thought it would be. It went from, let's say, $300,000 to $320,000, which is what the money that I put down. So yeah, did it work? No, that's just my experience. Would I recommend it? No. I'm sure people out there would. Some people would. Some people probably able to make it, have a better, I guess, result than I am. But I'm showing you, and I'm telling you the bad side of renovation. From my personal experience, I'm not showing you based on what the marketing spooks out there, what the guru tell you, but this is from my own personal experience. It didn't work. Anyway, hope that helped for anyone out there who is thinking of doing renovation, taking out the equity and purchase another property and do the entire cycle again. Buy another property, renovate, go get the instant equity, buy another property. Now, the other things that I forgot to mention is when you take out an equity, which what I did on another property, you're actually making your debt higher. So that means your repayments gets higher. So anyway, don't forget to subscribe, comment. That's just my 2 cents from my own little experience. If you like this type of stuff, don't forget to share it as well. See you on the next video. Peace.